Well, Mark Abrams here in Philadelphia. Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I have the WBA Bantamweight champion of the world, Jamie Mitchell, who this Saturday night takes on Carly Skelly, defending her title live on the Zone, and from Phoenix, Arizona. What's happening, Jamie?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good. What's it mean when I say the words the WBA Bantamweight champion of the world? That doesn't get old, does it?
It doesn't get old and it's not surprising. I've always known that I was a champion.
So before we take a step forward to Saturday night, let's just take a quick step back to that night in Liverpool, England, where you defeated Shannon Courtney to win the bantamweight championship. You did something that a lot of fighters, can't do. That's win a decision in the home country of another fighter, and you were able to do that. Talk about the October 9th fight against Shannon Courtney.
The October 9th fight against Shannon Courtney was, I loved every moment of it. The build up, all the way to the moment we fought. It was pretty amazing. Of course, yes, it's very hard. Almost impossible to go to someone else's hometown, let alone across the world, and win a title. It's pretty hard. So it says a lot about myself and just my willpower and my relentlessness in the game. You know what I mean? And nothing taken away from Shannon Courtney. She was a very tough fight as well. So yeah.
We got. I don't know if you can see, but we have a heckler chiming in. Some guy named Brian Cohen is chiming in during this interview here. So I'll try not to get too preoccupied with his snide comments. He said because you beat her ass, Brian. Obviously, your manager, because you beat Shannon's ass. So when you were waiting for the decision. I mean, everyone on TV knew you won the fight, but you know how this game goes. Waiting for the decision, what was probably a couple minutes. It seemed like 10 minutes to you waiting for that decision.
Nah, I think I was still high. Actually, I didn't even pay attention to how long it took. Actually, honestly, I knew I won. I mean, I knew I did everything I possibly could, other than knock her out. And to touch on that, it's obviously cool to go to somebody else's country and knock them out, and obviously, yeah, you won, no arguing about it. But it says a lot more to go full 10 rounds in somebody else's backyard, cross country, and get a decision. So I enjoyed, like I said, the whole build up and every round, every second of every round. You know what I mean? And shout out to my team. Black Cobra striking system, and also my manager Brian Cohen.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you start boxing? How did you get into the sport?
All right, so let me see. All
You're
right, so
good.
I started boxing. I was 16 years old when I started boxing. Um, and I started competing in 2009. So I got into the sport because I was one of those kids who likes to fight. I just was real good with my hands naturally. I love to fight, and I had a fight, back when I was 16, and I was always kind of strong. I always had power that I had no business with. So I got into a fight with one of the girls in the placements that I was in, and I broke her jaw, and I scared myself, because it looked like she had a stroke. And I was like, yo, I just, didn't know what to do. So then we had like a little meeting and talked about, what I could do differently and stuff like that. And I didn't answer none of those questions. They was like, what can we get you to do to make you stop fighting? You're always fighting every single day, it seemed like. So I told him that I wanted to box. So he threw me in the gym like the next day. And I fell in love with it. It was something that I loved and something that I actually look forward to doing, and something that, made me actually do right. Because I couldn't do right as a kid. I didn't like rules. Listening to people wasn't my forte. And yeah, so that's what kind of got me started.
Now I know you're in Las Vegas now. Is this in Las Vegas or?
No, this was in Texas. I actually got
Okay.
shipped out of the state of California as a kid because they said I was too bad to be in the state of California. All I needed was a hug, really. But yeah, so they shipped me out of the state of California to Texas for until I was like 18.
So you started competing in 2009. You turned pro in 2017, and you haven't looked back since. You're undefeated. When did you, like I said, when did it go from you being a bad kid or whatever they said about you to think of yourself, you know what, I can make something of myself being a professional boxer, and be more than just someone who's just going in there to fight and making a paycheck. When did it kick in for you? Say, you know what, I could be a world champion.
Well, obviously it was levels to it. I mean, when I first got in there, I mean, I just wanted to fight. He threw me my first day in a gym. I was 16 years old. He threw me in there with a 32-year-old. I mean, she was tall too. She was kicking my butt, and everybody was calling me Mike Tyson's daughter. And, it kind of grew from that moment. From that moment, it was just like my coach, Danny Lujan back in California. He pretty much told me I was going to the Olympics and this is the weight you're going to fight at. I was like, wait, this is too fast. Hold on. Let me think about this. I didn't know, that level, So I went and I just did what he told me to do, not knowing really what it was all about. You know what I mean? And it just kind of went from that to like, damn, I lost the first day to just kind of becoming addicted to it. You know what I mean? It's definitely an addiction, boxing. And it went from that to getting all the way to the finals, just going every year and being consistent like I am. Anything I touch, I want to do it to the best of my abilities. And then, went from that to feeling like, you know what, I'm not getting a fair shake in amateur boxing, man. Like, I don't know what fight you guys are looking at. How did you guys not give me that fight? And they went from that to saying, you know what, excuse my language, but fuck amateur boxing. I'm turning pro. We can't eat trophies, so let's make some money out of this situation. And so it went from that to, man, this is a different kind of hustle. The pro game versus the amateur game is different.
How many amateur fights did you have?
I had like 50 amateur fights. So yeah, so then I would think I was like 3-0 or 4-0, and that's when I ran into my manager, Brian Cohen, and I didn't know that he was watching me the whole time in the amateurs. You know what I mean? It's just such a small world, boxing. You know what I mean? And so, I talked to him. I think he gave me his number and said, yo, call me. I called him and then boom, you know what I mean? It was on and cracking from there. And I've never looked back, and I love what I do. You know what I mean? And I'm just so thankful to be able to, be doing what I love to do instead of doing what I have to do,
And you mentioned Brian. I kid around. Brian's a close friend of mine. You're with a manager who focuses only on female boxing, and your teammates, for lack of a better word, are all these girls, and that he has under his wing. He really is a proponent of women's women's boxing. How's that feel to know that he's pushing for for lack of a better term, the equality of women's boxing?
Brian is phenomenal. He's as far as what he's doing for female boxing is phenomenal. Him and Clarissa, I would say, are they're just both doing a tremendous job as far as female boxing and helping them, putting them on big platforms and helping them getting, the money that they deserve. Of course, we're working towards, bigger and better, but, I'm just so happy to be with him. I can't think of anybody else in boxing as far as female is concerned to choose to be able to work with.
And obviously he's got several world champions, under his regime. And so that's going to take us to Saturday night in Phoenix. Carly Skelly, who's coming over from England. She's undefeated, only 5 fights, 4-0-1. What can you tell us about her?
I really can't say too much about it because I haven't been in the ring with her, but from what I've seen, on YouTube, she's definitely gonna be in shape. She's definitely gonna be coming like a red-nosed pit bull. You know what I mean? So, those are the only two things that I can say for certain about her. But other than that, I really can't say too much else. But she's a gang fighter, and like me, she's been through. It hasn't been easy for her in the game either. So she's definitely coming to try to take what's mine.
And usually, like we talked before about going to someone's backyard. This time you got the English girl coming to America. You feel, a little bit more at ease. fighting, you're fighting in Phoenix, which isn't too far from your home in Vegas. You're a little bit more at ease, fighting at home, in terms of fight week, you're not flying across the world. You have a short flight to Phoenix, and later in the week. And is it a little bit more just, I guess, easy for you this week?
No, I don't never feel like any fight is at ease. I don't care if it's down the street or overseas. I don't never fall into that trap. Every fight is tough and hard in its own way, in its own respect. And this is gonna be more touching fight for me because it's my first title defense. So it would officially make me a world champion. You know what I mean? So it's not nothing. I'm not at ease. I'm not comfortable. I don't never want to be comfortable. I don't never want to feel any of those type of emotions.
You've heard the term, when you become a world champion, you become 10, 15, whatever, 25% better. Does this camp, you feel that way? That you're a better fighter than you were, when you stepped in the ring last October, because maybe the confidence level now that you're a world champion?
Yeah, because I do, because I'm always obsessed with getting better. I'm never content with, oh, I won that fight. Okay. I won that fight, but then I look at fights that I had with Shannon Courtney, let's say, and then what did I do wrong? Why couldn't I knock her out? And when I go and I fixate on that, and I kind of go and I tell my coach, like, coach, I want to work on this, or he'll tell me, we need to work on this, or so I thought I was kind of going back to the gym. I took a week off from the Shannon Courtney fight, and I went right back to the gym, and I've been working ever since. And I thought that I was going to rematch Shannon. So I was preparing to, work on things with Shannon. But then when we got the call, well, actually, I got the hint back in November that I would be, so I shifted my focus to, okay, now we need to work on these things for this type of a style with a lefty and Skelly. So yeah, I'm always working and trying to get better, and always, being a world champion, you have to have that in you.
Not that you're looking past Skelly, but do you feel at some point a rematch with Shannon is in your future?
I'm thinking so. I'm not quite sure, but we just take the fights, that my manager brings to me, and we kind of we worry about that when we get there.
If I'm not mistaken, what you're trained at the Split T boxing gym?
Yes, sir, I am.
Talk about that, split team management and everything like that, and got a nice gym out there in Las Vegas, and also being out in Las Vegas. You see, I know you say you're from Texas, and being out in Las Vegas where there's a lot of great, boxing climate culture out there, you probably get great work out there.
Yeah, I'm from actually Los Angeles, California, born and raised. But being out in Vegas, it's a cool atmosphere. It's just like you got everybody from everywhere, you know what I mean? From all parts of the US, even the world coming out here, and my gym, Split T Gym, he's a phenomenal guy, Eric. He one thing I can say about him, I've never been to a gym like his before. It's like usually it's just all business, which it is business. We do take care of business, but once a month we have a get together. It could be Christmas party, or we can go to the range, and he's a very family orientated kind of a gym too. So it's really cool to see that he does so much for us, you know what I mean? And allowing the fighters to have a job working in the gym as well, so they can make extra money outside of fights and stuff like that. So he's a really good guy, and I love the gym. I love the atmosphere.
Last couple questions. What do you want to say to fans out there? I'm sure you made some fans last October. Got to see you win the WBA Bantamweight World Championship, and now you're going to be back on DAZN this Saturday night in Phoenix, Arizona. What do you want to tell the fans out there?
Just keep watching, keep sticking with me in my growth. Didn't make enough fans. Follow me on Instagram, Jamie the Miracle Mitchell, Facebook and Twitter, Jamie the Miracle Mitchell, and keep tuning in, keep watching. Make sure you guys tune in February 5th on DAZN, and support your girl, Jamie the Miracle Mitchell.
I've asked a lot of the female fighters this. I've interviewed them ever since, I guess, the Olympic movement, I guess in maybe 2012. Do you feel that there's a lot more depth now, a lot more potential real big fights out there for you, maybe since the Olympic movement?
I can say, the amateur program, where this Olympics are just the amateurs, all the talent's coming from the amateurs, you know what I mean? So But yeah, there's definitely talent out there. There's definitely girls coming up that's hungry. Um, I can't remember the girl's name, but she just fought this past Saturday. She's another talented girl. She's up and coming. I think she's 2-0 or 3-0 now. You know, I actually used her my last camp. Phenomenal fighter. So it's a lot of talents out there that's coming up, and I just want to be able to help pave the way for those ladies coming up.
Is there a couple of dream fights out there? Someone that you're targeting for down the road that is maybe that fight that's going to even bring you to another level, possible?
I think the dream fight for me, I mean, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn or speaking out of sequence, but I think the dream fight for me would be um Ebony Bridges. I think that'd be a good fight that people want to see, and that I think that would put me at another level as well. So
And obviously, she's gained a lot of popularity over the last,
yeah,
couple of years or so.
yeah.
Where can the fans find you on social media?
Um, my fans can find me on Jamie the Miracle Mitchell, and that's all three platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Well, we thank you for a few minutes of your time. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday night live on DAZN when you defend the WBA Bantamweight Championship against Carly Skelly. Should be an outstanding fight, and we wish you best of luck, and we'll talk to you along the way.
Appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much.